New Zealand, a country that seems carved straight out of a dream. Towering mountains, mirror-still lakes, rolling green fields and calm coastal towns that feel frozen in time. To the outside world, it's a paradise. Safe, prosperous, and peaceful. A place that often tops global rankings for freedom, democracy, and quality of life. But behind that postcard beauty, a quiet shift has been taking place. Every year, more New Zealanders are leaving, not to travel or explore, but to start over somewhere else. For many, paradise has become too expensive, too limited, and too uncertain to call home. So why are so many Kiwis quietly walking away from one of the most beautiful countries on Earth? For generations, New Zealand was seen as the good life. Fresh air, good schools, friendly people, and a sense of safety that's rare in today's world. It was the place where you could raise a family, buy a house, and live comfortably without chasing endless wealth. That balance used to be New Zealand's secret strength. But over the last 2 decades, the ground beneath that dream has shifted. Let's start with the biggest reason: the cost of living. In New Zealand today, everything feels expensive. Groceries, rent, power bills, even a simple coffee. The price tags keep climbing. Part of it comes down to geography. New Zealand is small, isolated, and heavily reliant on imports. When fuel prices rise or global supply chains slow down, those costs hit here faster and harder than almost anywhere else. But geography alone doesn't explain it. The truth is, New Zealand's economy has been shaped in ways that make everyday life harder than it needs to be. Over time, the nation has relied heavily on just two pillars: property and agriculture. That narrow base has made the economy fragile, and for many workers, stagnant. Housing prices are the clearest symptom. In Auckland, the average home now costs more than $1 million. Even small towns that were once affordable have seen prices soar far beyond what local wages can support. It's not just a market issue, it's a generational one. For young people, the dream of home ownership feels like something their parents had, but they never will. Saving a deposit takes years, and even renting feels like running on a treadmill that never stops. Meanwhile, wages have barely moved. Incomes simply haven't kept pace with inflation, and the gap between what people earn and what it costs to live has become impossible to ignore. It's not uncommon to hear stories of teachers, nurses, and police officers working full-time, yet still struggling to afford rent in the cities they serve. And when essential workers can't survive comfortably, a country begins to lose its foundation. That's when many look across the Tasman Sea to Australia, just a 3-hour flight away, with higher wages, larger industries, and more opportunities. The two countries share a long and unique relationship. Under the Trans-Tasman Agreement, New Zealanders can live and work in Australia without complicated visas. It's as easy as packing up, booking a flight, and starting fresh. And for many, that move changes everything. The same job in Australia can pay 30 to 40% more. Housing is often cheaper relative to income, and everyday costs, groceries, petrol, electricity, can be lower too. It's a simple equation that more and more Kiwis are choosing to solve by leaving. The numbers tell the story. Over 600,000 New Zealand-born people now live in Australia. That's roughly 1 in every 8 Kiwis. And the trend keeps growing. People aren't leaving New Zealand because they've stopped loving it. They're leaving because they can't see a future inside it right now. Across cities and small towns, families, workers, and graduates are all looking across the Tasman, chasing a chance to breathe easier. What used to be a trickle has become a steady flow. Nurses, builders, teachers, even retirees following their children to Australia. Economists call it a brain drain, but it's more than that. It's hands, hearts, and hopes quietly slipping away. Each person who leaves takes a piece of the country's rhythm and leaves the rest of us carrying more. When skilled workers go, hospitals wait longer, classrooms grow larger, and housing projects slow down. Immigration fills some gaps, but even many newcomers face the same wall: high costs, limited growth, and the pull of higher pay across the sea. New Zealand trains the talent, but can't seem to keep it. The roots of it run deep. Decades of wealth tied up in land and housing, a system where property feels safer than innovation. That's good for investors, but crushing for those trying to start out. Every attempt at reform meets a maze of high building costs and strict zoning laws. And so the cycle continues. Houses rise in price and hope slips further out of reach. Outside property and farming, growth is slow. Tech founders and creators often leave, chasing scale that's impossible to find at home. Add to that the pandemic, inflation, and rising rates. And many families are no longer dreaming of thriving, just surviving. Yet this isn't only about money, it's about space, emotional and professional. In a country this small, people feel there's a ceiling to ambition. Across the water, Australia looks larger, faster, fuller of chances. New Zealand's closeness, once its charm, now feels like a cage to some. Still, leaving isn't easy. New Zealand isn't just a country, it's a feeling. The land, the sea, the people. Even those who go rarely stop calling it home. They just hope that one day, home will feel possible again. And it can. New Zealand has everything it needs: stability, creativity, and heart. What's missing is courage. The courage to move beyond property, beyond short-term politics, and build industries that last. To make staying, not leaving, the rewarding choice. Because paradise isn't just mountains and lakes. It's people. And if opportunity and hope rise again, maybe those planes leaving Auckland will start flying home.